Hello and welcome to another episode of Ask a Grimm. Yeah, this one's a lot later than normal, but that's because, well, in comparison to last episode, there weren't as many questions, so I wanted to give it a bit of extra time. So, once again, thank you all so much for asking your questions. I really do appreciate it. And, yeah, without any further ado, let's begin. Kill9000Jin567 asks, have you played any of the Metal Gear games? I've played Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance, and I've played MGS5. I do want to try out the other Metal Gear games, though. But in due time. As for my thoughts on 5 and Revengeance, I thought 5 was a lot of fun, and Revengeance was also really good. So, yeah, and odds are I'm probably going to enjoy the other games too. It sure would be nice to have games like Metal Gear Solid 1 through 4 on Steam. Man, that would be great. Lorenzo asks, do you play the Megami Tensei games? Outside of the Persona spin-off series, not really. I've heard interesting things about them, but no, I have not played it. Comment Homer Simpson asks, Number 1, whatever happened to Next GWS Man? What do you think of Danny Corks? Why YouTube hasn't taken down Doodle Clones' channel? Who was the very first SEC member on YouTube in the first days of YouTube when it was launched in the 2000s? Ooh, really good questions here. Okay. First up, GWS got into a controversy involving a user known as Heaton Mitsuru, and they left the community. They tried to come back, sort of, but they got laughed out of the fucking community because they were trying to burn as many bridges as they could, and that's the short end of it, by the way. There's a whole lot of other shit that this person had did in the intervening time between the Heaton Mitsuru situation and this, but that could probably be its own docuseries. As for the Danny question, this is honestly the first time I ever heard of this person, and going off of what I'm looking up, not really anything negative, not anything positive, it's just a case of, As for why Dual Clones hasn't been taken down, that's probably because YouTube has a shitload of other problems going on at the moment, and they can't even fix those properly, so I'm not too surprised that they can't even take down Doodle Clones. As for the very first SEC member, I would probably say Boomstick545, but even that's kind of debatable because the likes of Retsupre were around before then. But I guess for the slideshow style, probably would be somebody like Boomstick, and I think some of their old content is still around. Xans Priness asks, do you think that SpongeBob is an overrated cartoon? And have you played the Henry Stickmin games, both original and remastered? The thing is with SpongeBob SquarePants, I don't really classify it as overrated because whenever I look for SpongeBob and the like online, I see, at least with the modern series, I see more people bitching about it than saying it was a good show, so I don't think I could call it overrated because I just see nothing but negativity. Maybe underrated if we're talking the modern seasons, but that depends on if it's any good, because I don't watch modern SpongeBob. As for Henry Stickmin, I've seen videos of it, but I have not played in either version, but it looks really cool. So far, no. ShippudenLegend asks, what would you do to fix the final arc of Naruto? I'm assuming you're referring to Shippuden and not the original series. Probably trim a lot of the fat, utterly get rid of Kaguya, because she was fucking useless, and frankly, just think of a smarter way to deal with Madara than just having some other villain take over. Because I think after the whole Kaguya stuff, the final fight with Naruto and Sausage, that worked, and then the time skip is just weird, but I mean, it's kind of hard to find a good Shonen Jump ending, so. But I would probably just say that. Nico Safer 1 asks, have you played Golden Sun? Any thoughts on CJP Grey? Whatever happened to Super Funny Bros? Really good questions here. I have not played Golden Sun, but I've heard a lot of really good things about it. CGP Grey, it's similar to the last question in which I just feel indifferent, like, And as for Super Funny Bros, they were involved in a massive shit show with a Kickstarter/GoFundMe, and basically ran away from the internet. Sleepy Commentator asks, what do you think of Berg Productions? Any thoughts on the Alt vs. Neo CC era thing? Underrated SCC members. Favorite hilarious jokes from commentaries. Thoughts on Berg Production is... They're not really my cup of tea, but I don't really watch a lot of their newer content, so I can't say if they've improved since the last time I saw them, which would be a couple of years ago. As for the Alt versus Neo CC, I think it's fucking stupid. Underrated SCC members, I don't think there's really any, because I think a lot of the SCC commentators that would qualify under underrated is being given a lot of attention / being added to a lot of the commentary groups nowadays. They're getting the recognition effectively. So I can't really answer that. And as for favorite hilarious jokes...
Oh, you what? I've
And I'm back.
No!
Wait, how do those fuckers get past the minefield?
Oh my god, it's called a joke, stupid!
I would like to have
Don't you dare finish that sentence, Mavi, I swear to God.
What? I just wanted to say I wanted to have some quality time with my best friend.
Or B, something out of a hentai manga. In fact...
Look, Dad, it's not... Where did you get it?
Drug dealer? Where do you think you'd get it? The corner store? Buy one, get high free?
Son, I figured when you were old enough, I'd talk to you about drugs.
Then I decided to let the TV babysit you instead.
3 grams of cocaine costs as much as a TV.
Yeah, but if you buy a TV, all you get is a bunch of static. And I can't snort that. Did I seriously just say that? Pretty sure one of the first lessons in med school is do not use the body as a drum set.
No joke, no counterpoint to what was stated, just filler. Great. Jeez, seriously, this guy's very delicious graded up.
And the last set of questions comes from JF. Number 1. What were some of the most disappointing games that you've played? Which anime dub do you dislike the most? Did you see The Fall of Nottingham YTP? And have you seen the Digimon Adventure 2020 remake? If so, what are your thoughts? Some of the most disappointing games? Probably Dream Drop Distance, heard a lot of praise about that. I want to say Yakuza 3 through 5 is another example, just because I've heard a lot of people wanting those games on Steam, and then when they finally came out, they were such a fucking letdown. Doom 2 is probably another one, just because I feel like it was a lot more bloated and padded out in comparison to the first game. Twilight Princess is another one, but that one is more so just frustrating, disappointing, because I don't think it stood much of a chance, considering that Twilight Princess's development was basically, oh shit, a lot of people pissed and complained about Wind Waker's art style and didn't buy the game. We need to give a more realistic Zelda / Ocarina of Time-like game to get them back. So let's just ape a lot of the shit from Ocarina of Time and just call it a day. It feels like it didn't get a fair chance because it just felt like damage control instead of an honest attempt at a new installment. As for anime dub I dislike the most, that honor probably is gonna go to Gundam Seed's original dub because there was just way too much cringe for me.
Fly, Kisaka! I'm counting on you! What do we have here?
Father! Damn it!
Wait a minute.
That's fucking stupid!
Right?
I have not seen The Fall of Nottingham YTP, but I will give that a look in the future. And as for the remake, I have seen bits and pieces of it, but I have not sat down and watched it fully, so I can't give an honest thoughts on the full series, unfortunately. And those are all the questions that I have for this installment. So once again, thank you all so very much for asking your questions. I very much appreciate it. And if you have any questions for the next installment of Ask a Grimm, feel free to write them in the comments below. Until then, I'm David Grimm, and thank you for watching.